Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm excited to be joined by Darren Hardy, founder of Stay Strong and AI DAS. Darren will be sharing more about his founding journey and giving us a glimpse into plans for future growth. Darren, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Olivia.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm excited to dive in and learn more about your journey. So,
with
all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Stay Strong and then AI DAS as well, and what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. I spent 15 years in the military. So I was in the army as a soldier and an officer. So I commissioned halfway through my career. And unfortunately, I was medically discharged in 2018 due to physical and mental injuries from the Iraq War. So I had to leave rather than want. And I did the sort of typical follow the flow of an army officer into the city in London, worked for large corporates, and I have done since up until earlier this year, going self-employed and setting up myself, really. Recognized a sort of a gap. So we're in the military where people perform at a high elite level, and having played sports, rugby particularly, and athletics at a very high level, people in the corporate world don't operate that way. And I think they could operate, if they were trained to operate at more of an elite level, they could do better decisions. If they were educated more on having 15 cups of coffee a day isn't the right answer to get through. If they were learnt and educated, led me to basically setting up Stay Strong, which later followed with AI DAS, which is a persona of 20 years worth of my military leadership, sporting backgrounds, and business growth and strategy into one tool.
I love that. That's such a cool premise. And it's so true what you said. I feel like obviously yours is very heightened because you have the background in not just athletics, but in the military as well. So you must have an amazing mindset, discipline, and just drive to keep going, that high performance attitude. And it is missing in that corporate space, especially within leadership. It's very much a hustle culture, it's burnout, it's let's do everything at full tempo and not actually look after ourselves on that way forward as well, which is where the athletic discipline and mindset comes into that play. So let's dive into that a little bit more then, so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So walk me through, who would you say is your ideal customer? Like, who do you generally like to work with the most? And then from there, how would you help them and how would you support them?
Yeah, so I set the AI DAS up to work with everyone, in essence, from teenagers right up to corporate leaders and high performance CEOs. And we'll come on to it in a minute, but I set it at quite a low price. So it's less than £1 a day to have it. And that is so everyone can use it.
Yeah.
One of my big bugbearers in the whole of society, I think, is the obesity pandemic that we live in the UK and the world. We now have stats where there's more overweight children than not. And being a father of two girls, 7 and 8 year old, it's up to the parent to teach them what's good and what's bad. And we don't see this enough. And you tend to find in society, again, it's the sort of the lower end where you get more obesity. And that's why I wanted something such a low cost where everyone can afford it and be educated on it. So I'm hitting all scales. It was originally developed for corporate CEOs and the executive suite to make better decisions in the boardroom. And that's one of my big messages. Lessons learned from the battlefield into the boardroom, and they've been battle tested. And so I decided I need everyone on this. I need to hit a nerve with everyone and call it how it is. And that's exactly, this is the parents, this is the leaders of corporates and organizations who are parents who need to take responsibility and need to make a difference, because it's only getting worse and the knock-on effect is monumental on the NHS, taxes. For us, it's like 2.6 billion a year on obesity alone, but it's just ridiculous.
So true. No, it's so true. And it is a societal thing, as you said at the start. We've become okay with that being almost embedded in our culture. And having that accessible at all levels to everybody is such a great way to impact that and really make a difference in the change and just highlight the brutal honesty of what needs to happen just to help with society balancing out moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why the AI DAS piece came from it. It wasn't invented for convenience like most apps. So every app out there is for a bit of convenience. I didn't invent it for convenience. I invented it because the feeling of the current systems.
Nice. I like it. And then how about, so with regards to Stay Strong as well, is that still aimed at corporations and that really like leadership development kind of packages?
100%. Yeah. So I've got some like talks. I do keynote speaking as well. Some big things that
Amazing.
are lined up next year in the south of France, London, where I'm going to go out into corporates and run half-day training sessions on resilience and leadership. And communication is a big one, and education. And
Yeah.
everything I come back to is how do we make the body more of an elite performing body so you can make better decisions
Yeah.
at work and at home and reduce this fatigue and tire. A lot of people go out and work all day and don't have time then for their kids when they come home. How do we fix that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what the Stay Strong sort of elite package is for. And that's like a CEO package where you work with me direct rather than just the AI does.
Yeah, amazing. So a lot more higher contact, a lot more work, and just moving forward from there. And how do you go about acquiring your customers there? And so, like, what channels, what methods are you really finding most effective in finding that person to work with?
So a lot of the previous customers has just been on the Stay Strong. So that's a sort of a high exec pack. And they've come through actually off the back of talks. My book is coming out in January 26th, probably the start of February, really, with the launch of it. And it's 10 chapters and 10 takeaways for the reader and how you can become a better person. That's called Stay Strong, Battle Tested and Built to Rise. And it's a warrior's way to wellness. So a lot of it's come off the talks that have booked in for that. People want to book me one-to-one, but the AI DAS hasn't launched yet. So I'm getting quite a lot drawn up, a lot of content for it at the minute. I've got a waiting list of people, but 10th of January that goes live and I'm already starting to fill those quite drastically. So it's quite nice.
Yeah, that is. And as you say, it's kind of not even launched yet. So the fact that we're already on the way forward is just a good sign of what's to come.
Yeah.
And I like the fact you're using like multi-streams of marketing yourself. So obviously a lot of in person, just upfront on the knowledge, making sure you're like key, top of mind, moving forward, which is nice. And do
Mm-hmm.
you have a team as well, Darren, or are you covering everything yourself, wearing all those many hats?
Yeah, just I'm wearing every hat. There's a back team building the AI function, the tech side of it, because that's not me.
Yeah.
It's really I prefer a crayon and a piece of paper. So I've got someone much more smarter than me building the back end, but the actual front, the financial, the commercial, the advertising, the marketing, it's me, and we're getting there. It's exciting. I'm learning a lot as we
Yeah.
go.
I think that's important as well for every founder to understand every step as they're going through it, because as you do delegate, or if you ever want to delegate the jobs, at least you know what it takes to perform it to how you want it
Mm.
to be done. So it's really cool. But how are you learning and navigating that? Because it must be very new coming from the background that you had to focus on like sales, marketing, funnels, and all that tech that you have to set up as well.
Yeah, it is difficult. I do have a business coach and mentor. We run weekly calls. Like today, we had a call on ads. I set my first ad up today on
Oh,
Facebook, which was quite nice. Directed just around followers and that growing that engagement and the followers piece. The sell will be much easier. And I always think as well, if I do a lot of charity work and world first and world records that have been people have told me it's impossible to do. I'll go out and prove that the body can do it over mindset, and which is all built into AI DAS. And I have a big one coming up in February. And if I can build my engagement more on that,
yeah.
I'll be able to raise more money for charity. So it all ties in together.
I love it. So yeah, just one mission moving forward, which is really cool. And what are your plans for the next 6 to 12 months as you think of scaling the business and maybe taking it to another level? What does that look like for you?
So from it, so the scaling would be ideally, I want 5,000 people on Stay Strong within 2026, which I don't think is through the realms impossible. It's about that self belief of having to do that and the vision to create that. And I'm in talks with big businesses, corporates already. One of them has 6,000 employees. So that's it. That'll hit my goal. But it's that. And then allowing that to run in the background, which will allow me to raise more money for charity. And on the other side is the sort of the goal.
I love it. You could like literally get that goal done and achieved in one call. Or I suppose one
I
SaaS.
could, yes, and I've got that
No
call in
pressure.
January. But the issue you've got is nobody believes it. Nobody wants to invest in themselves. Corporates are very good at saying, we look after our staff for everything. I'm asking for £17 per month per employee. It's not a big investment from a business when I'm going to be reducing sick days, presenteeism, educating their staff on things like the caffeine intake and how that can make your decision making not 100% in the boardroom. Companies talk about risk and how risk adverse they are, but then if they looked at what they're inputting into the body, they're taking big risks on the decision they're making in the boardroom. I want to navigate that and avoid poor decision making through bad stuff getting in the body.
I appreciate that a lot. And I think, especially in corporate I feel like a lot of organizations, companies have cut their budget a lot when it comes to the wellness of their and the well-being of their employees. And it
Yeah.
does, as you just said there, if you're not performing at your best, no matter what level of employer it is, there's going to be drops in performance and drops in revenue. So if everyone's happy and everyone's good and everyone's moving forward at the best of their ability, production's only going to go through the roof as well. So for me, it's like a no-brainer, and I don't really understand why that's happening in society at the moment either.
Yeah, I think it goes back to normalization. Go back to the obesity comment. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's normal for people to be fat. It's normal to walk down the street and see everyone overweight. It's normal. And that's because it is normal. People see that in the workplace. It's normal for people to be off with depression. It's normal for people to be off with injuries. It's normal for people to be not present in the workspace. Trying to change that culture is bloody hard.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. I'll get in
So
there.
I'm glad you're doing it and not me, because it is hard. It's like the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's the weight of future kind on your shoulders, Darren. And I have one final question to ask you before we log off for the day. So if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
I would say be authentic. A lot of people please, and I've done this in my life. I please for other people's needs. I try and fit in. There's actually a whole chapter in my book about this. It's called Don't Be a Sheep. And it's don't fit in if you don't feel you fit in. I did a whole year at the officer training at Sandhurst trying to fit in when I should have just been myself. So it's be authentic.
I love that. And such a key component in everything in life. Darren, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Best platform right now is Instagram at Darren Hardy Official. I come up there. My LinkedIn's been hacked at the minute, so I'm trying to get that back up and running. But Darren Hardy will be up and running there, and look out on national news as well in February for my next world record attempt.
There we go. Keep eyes peeled on Darren moving forward.
Yeah.
Not on LinkedIn though. There might be somebody else.
Yes.
Get that
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining me again, Darren. Such a pleasure to have you here. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Darren. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future by wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from $0 to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.